out to all your listeners. If anybody has any haunted dolls, I'm all about it. Get in contact with me at Will_Fox_paranormal. DM me on Instagram. Let me know. I will take them from you. I am actively searching for haunted dolls because I am so fascinated with them, and I just want to bring them in to my space. I'm completely 180. I don't know why. I just really do. I'm my fiance is staring at me with a very weird look.
Oh gosh, God bless her.
Opposite end of the spectrum here.
Total opposite. Yeah, no, I am so careful about it. Like, especially when I go somewhere haunted and then I go home, like I have the salt out everywhere. I'm doing like sage stuff. I'm like, I just keep my home. It's me. It's my cat. We have nice energy. Okay. Well, anyway, enough about that.
Yeah, I got some examples, or I really just one example. It's not necessarily a story. It's just more information about a certain scenario or location.
Cool. Yeah.
And I know I'm not from New England. I don't think I've ever even really set foot in New England.
What?
But
no way.
I know, right?
No way. Know. You're from Long Island. You've never been to Connecticut?
Yeah, actually, that is a lie. I have been to Connecticut, and I kind of forgot about that. So, so disregarding what I just said, I did find a good example of a residual haunting in New England. It's at the Rhode Island School of Design in Providence, Rhode Island. Like I said, it's not necessarily a story. I'm just going to give a quick rundown of the school itself, because it was founded in 1877. A lot of the buildings on the campus were literally built on top of local family graveyards that had gone unclaimed for years.
Wow.
I just quickly read into the research or building process of the campus, and when they purchased the plot of land, there was, like I said, just a couple of local family graveyards, and they tried to find the owners or the family members of the people that were buried, and they couldn't find any of them, not one. So they were relocated to local cemeteries, and they built right on top of, they didn't build on top of bodies, but they were all relocated. But one of the houses on the campus, called the Dexter House, was, and this was interesting, it was sawed in half, like hand sawed, because this was back in the early 1900s. It was hand sawed in half and moved from its original location to the location where it is now. But the structure itself remained the same. And the original structure was originally a morgue and a funeral home. So obviously a little bit of residual haunting possibility there. And this is just a fun fact. In 1937, the wake of H.P. Lovecraft was held there.
Ooh.
Yeah. But the point of bringing this up, Rhode Island School of Design is a perfect example of residual hauntings, because the two main sightings of, things that are reported there are spirits walking through walls, which is a quintessential example of a residual haunting, because whenever you see a spirit walking through a wall, more often than not, like we said before, that spirit just spent a lot of time there. Maybe they had lived there prior, or whatever it may be. But more often than not, when that spirit walks through that wall, there might have been a doorway, right, where they're walking through, and it might have just been either moved or sealed up or something like that. So one big thing of, like I said, residual hauntings, when they're walking through those walls, it probably used to be a doorway. So it's just residual energy of that spirit just walking through that doorway. And for whatever reason, that is what got recorded in that one spot. But there's tons of sightings of that here. And as well as spirits that are, and this is on the campus, spirits that just kind of walk around, just seem like they're searching for something. And like I said, with the graveyards, the local family graveyards, these spirits very well could just be attached to their body. And when spirits become attached to their body, they generally settle around where the body lands. And for whatever reason, these spirits might not know that their body was moved, and they could just be wandering the campus grounds looking for their bodies where they used to be buried.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's sad too.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
Another fun fact. Another fun fact. This is completely off topic. I just found this when I was doing research. Some notable alumni that went to Rhode Island School of Design: James Franco.
Yep.
Seth MacFarlane. Heather Henson, who's the daughter of Jim Henson, founder of the Muppets, and Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, who are the founders of Airbnb.
Cool. Yeah, Rhode Island School of Design is basically the Harvard University of Art Schools. It is really, really amazing. It's unbelievable. I wish I went there.
Definitely interesting.
All right. Okay. So now we move on to intelligent hauntings, which personally I think are a little more interesting. Yeah.
This is generally what people think of when they think of hauntings in general.
Yeah. We are now back to reading off of this Medium article. And it is, intelligent hauntings are those in which ghost interacts with the present. It is intelligent in that the ghost may communicate or interfere in some fashion with those of us living on the earthly plane. The disembodied person has elected for some reason to stay here due to a connection with a person, place, or thing. Intelligent hauntings sometimes happen due to a spirit's compelling need to deliver a message from the other side of the grave or to watch over loved ones. In addition, it is always possible that an intelligent haunting can occur due to attachments the ghostly person feels to memories, trauma, tragedy, or any other emotional tie, effectively binding the mind to, not realizing the deceased person's body has indeed expired, aka they don't know they're dead, completing unfinished earthly business, reliving traumatic events as the mind consistently replays the event in an attempt to comprehend, perhaps remaining with loved ones or persons the ghost finds like company with, not letting go due to some form of fear after death, such as fear of punishment or moving on into the unknown. Intelligent haunting manifests typically in what some may consider to be ghost signs: hiding or moving objects, doors opening and closing, hearing strange sounds, noticing a spiritual presence, and disturbance of electrical devices are all examples of ghosts attempting to gain someone's attention and communicate from the spirit realm. One may also experience dreams and visions of loved ones, especially right before or after sleep, when most of us are more open to contact and the left brain has quieted down. It is also not uncommon to physically see a ghostly loved one as well, as either an apparition or shadowed form. The best thing one can do is remain open to the contact and listen to what is heard deep within, as that is how ghosts primarily communicate. If you encounter a haunting, seek to speak to the spirit using words of peace, compassion, and love. There you go. That's that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Peace, compassion, and love.
God bless them.
No, that pretty much wrapped it up pretty well, because like I said, intelligent hauntings are what people think of when they think of hauntings. So if you're thinking of that ghost that might be in your house, it's probably an intelligent haunting. Even though residual hauntings are way more common, but for some reason people talk about intelligent hauntings way more often. So more than likely, if you're thinking of that quintessential haunting that might be in your house, that ghost that looks at you from the corner, that's technically an intelligent haunting.
Yes. Well, I think part of it is too that they're scarier for a lot of people. You know what I mean? That makes you want to talk more. Like, I can go into a basement of a certain place and feel, weird energy. But then other times when I'm standing around and a loaf of bread gets thrown at me, It's a better story.
No, I can't relate. I can't relate. I think I'd be more scared in the basement.
Okay, so I found a article out of Connecticut on an intelligent haunting that happened in a restaurant. And everyone knows haunted restaurants are my favorite. So this is actually pretty recent too. This is from March 29, 2019. So that is not that long ago.
Almost 1 year.
Almost. Okay, and this is from the New Haven Register. When Sarah Tigret first saw objects moving on their own inside her popular Berlin restaurant, Ramen-Ya, she thought she was going, quote, a little crazy. Isn't everyone in the food industry crazy? Okay. But after reaching out to paranormal investigation team recently, Tigret learned her mind wasn't playing tricks on her, but rather she has a friendly ghost haunting the place, named Ben. Tigret opened the Japanese restaurant at 1128 Farmington Ave in Berlin in January 2017. Not long after opening, Tigret noticed some unusual things, often between 1 and 4 a.m., caught on the surveillance cameras.
The witching hour.
Ooh. First, there were heavy bags of flour seemingly moving on their own. Then, a mallet flew across the dining room, and a pair of tongs rotated in the air and fell to the ground. Another time, doors were seen closing by themselves. But Tigret really became concerned when she saw what appeared to be a man's legs wearing work boots standing behind some boxes after closing up one night. She was convinced an intruder had gotten inside the building, but after searching the area, she realized the doors were still locked and nobody could have gotten in. When Tigret decided to enlist the help of Connecticut spirit investigators and researchers who conducted a paranormal investigation at Ramen-Ya last month. At first, I thought maybe I was going crazy. For some reason, they changed her name here to Tigretti. But that's okay. Noting the town's fire marshal suggested she may contact a paranormal team after reviewing her videos. I looked for a team. Wait, what? So she must have shown the video to the fire marshal, and he was like, yeah, that's not us, man. So, okay. Town's fire marshal suggested she contact a paranormal team after reviewing her photos. I looked for a team that had lots of experience and would also not try to make the spirit go away since he is my friend. Rose Porto, founder and head investigator of the Connecticut Spirit, and her team spent the night at Ramen-Ya on February 23rd. And when all the mist, shadowy figures, and orbs cleared, determined the restaurant is haunted. The owner, Sarah, contacted me. She wanted confirmation her restaurant was haunted and wanted to know who the ghost was. Porto, who's been investigating paranormal activity for 20 years, founded Connecticut Spirit in 2003 to help people find answers and get help for unusual happenings in their homes and businesses in an effort to educate and alleviate fears. In the case of Ramen-Ya, Tigret's suspicion was she was not alone, especially after hours, were confirmed by Porto's team. During the investigation, my team and I had numerous experiences. We saw a man's shadow in the kitchen area. On several occasions, we caught flying energy balls of light on our night video cameras. We got intelligent responses from our ghost box, giving us the name Ben and confirming he was a worker from the area. Porto said historical data shows at one time the area was alive with blacksmiths, farms, and mills, where Ramen-Ya is now situated. According to town record, the building was built in 1963, and several other businesses occupied the space, including a European deli. The spirit told us through our devices that he liked Sarah, and he was there to help her work. We asked the spirit to make our REM pod, a ghost-detecting device that radiates its own electromagnetic ring, to go off. At one point, it was beeping for a full 6 minutes. Tigret spent the night with the team and couldn't believe the amount of activity that occurred. Aside from the crazy amount of orbs, that we're picking up on camera, we could actually see mist manifest and block out a grid light system that was set up to see if anything materialized.